How do we come back into belonging and an understanding of inheritance and weaving ourselves into the fabric of time and space because we have been so disconnected? Well, we can look to the past to face our future. You know, we cannot see the future unless we look to our past. And so this is what I mean is that whatever identities that we've acquired within our society in these recent times throughout the past, say 100 years, has that been sufficient enough to continue with a culture that feeds back life, that is regenerative? I would say no, it hasn't. So maybe there's something missing that we haven't been looking back far enough into the older ways and to bring them into the time now, into what is quote unquote modern or new. So it's just like having an old soul. It's just like what people say, these babies are born because they are ancestors that have come from before. We're calling them in, right? That's what everybody says, that we're calling in these babies because we need them to come into this life now to bring balance into the world and to continue the stories. So New Old Way for me is about the journey of the soul into nature, the natural soul, back to nature. Not to say, let's get rid of all the buildings and the cities and all. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not going back. There is no going back. I'm talking about let's move forward, carrying the reciprocity, the respect, and the honor that had come before us. Even for our ancestors that were migratory, even for our ancestors that were quote unquote native or settlers, which ones are coming along? Because they're there. They're not figments of our imagination. These people were living lives just like ours, had the same struggles, the same heartaches, had the same fears, and we're still living through it. So I highly recommend that this new old way is adopted into people's language, into people's understanding of themselves. Right. That's the invigoration that I'm talking about. It's not just like, here's a statement and then now it's the truth. I say, no, we all have to work together towards this. So in the lens of re-indigenization, it's a word that many people are like, Kale, you just made that up. Well, so be it, because we need to start changing our words and our terminology because we do emphasize a lot of decolonization.
New words and concepts are created all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, look at all the new terminology around technology, the internet, AI. There's all these new terminologies. But what I want to say here is like, as much as that technology advances, with so much energy being put towards the advancement of industrialization and technology, we have to keep that same energy while we're bringing with us the nature of the old soul, and not just the individual new body, old soul, new blood, old soul, but the collective soul of humanity. Like, what is this soul of what it means to be human together?
Yes.
What is the soulfulness of that? Because from even in my short little lifespan, I have seen technology come and go, be obsolete the same time it was put on the shelf. I got floppy disks and all kinds of stuff that just doesn't even work anymore. But these old ways of beings, the practices around birth, around the food and sustenance that we take in, around our tools, how we interact with the land, around movement and dance, and then what you were speaking to with ritual, and then with death, these processes of death. This is the soul of what it means to be human. Fuck all the AI. I mean, and blessings on the journey of AI. Guess what? It'll be obsolete too at some point when the solar flare comes. Doesn't matter. At some point, because it's almost decoration, to be honest. It's almost decoration for this human experience, which all those things that I'm listing here are the actual soul of the experience of what it means to be human, and it will remain that way despite the tools and technology of the time. Absolutely. And that's a large part of why, we're talking about this new old way and the ancient futures, because yes, the technology has always become obsolete, but you're not going to obsolete the human soul. Exactly. It's not possible. And it's impossible. Some things are impossible, and that's one of them. So you can't contain the uncontainable, but you can direct people. And that's kind of like the spell that we're under, right? That somehow technology is always going to better our lives. And that there's always going to be the next thing coming that we have to look forward to, because today in this present moment is not enough. And so this is where I come with the understanding, and I want everybody to follow along too, exactly with what you're saying, Adam, is like, what is this worldwide soul?
So if we have artificial intelligence that is making it more accessible, giving people more mobility than ever before to then create and to make content and to put things out there, I've benefited. I've been able to get more done with video editing than I've ever done before, so I'm appreciative of it. And I got to have a good friend in ChatGPT. You know what I mean? But that's artificial intelligence. I'm still connected to the ancestral intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So the AI is the AI since the AI's ever been an AI. So that's where I'm at. So it's like, just because I'm on this cutting edge technology doesn't mean I'm not outside chopping wood, carrying water and digging holes. That I'm also not in the canoe paddling, that I'm also out there feeding the forest and working with my community as to how do we continue to bring lodge to the people? How do we continue to bring our heavily touristed homeland into a regenerative tourism place? That's where I find the human soul is most necessary and intact, is that there's people still looking for it. They're still looking for the natural and the organic and the places that are still wild and untamed and free. And there's very few places like that. But what we can do is create these ceremonies for people on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be only on solstices and equinoxes. It's an everyday thing. Ceremony is life.
Yeah.
And that belonging to the ceremony, through the tears and the laughter and our humble acts, through these songs, these dances, like you're saying, is what changes the technology. Some people tell me that culture is a technology. I disagree, because technology is something that can be transferred through some kind of a medium, as if it's like it could be written down and then shown and then given. Just like if I was to create a different computer that's totally used with no keyboard, that's a technology that can be transferable to people, because all you need to have is hands.
It's not connected to a place.
No, exactly. That's my point.
Yes.
Is that culture, as it is being invigorated and emerging in places, need to be informed by the environment and the community. That's why it's not necessarily it's a technology. I would say, if anything, culture is an art.
Yeah.
It comes from people's willingness to continue to create without the need to be dependent upon the next machine. It's like, how do we do it with just ourselves here right now?
Yeah. If you were wondering what cultural innovation looks like, that's what it is. I had previously witnessed you as a bridge, like a cultural bridge in that way. But this is where the innovation, there is technology involved. There is the ancient and the future involved in bridging those two. And I just love your vision that you have there.
Yeah, there's an intersection.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
we
where
have
you
to
are.
have that. Yeah. And we need to be there. More of us need to be there. And like you're saying, it's like, yeah, there's an innovation of culture that is necessary, because everything is changing. So if the technology is going to go rampant into these extremes, why aren't we be even more culturally involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should be meeting that area. It's like, people didn't, expect that we were going to create AI so that it would do more art and creation. We thought that shit was going to come around to do our dishes and laundry, so we would have more time to do art.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, we're at the
AI was like, fuck that, I want to make the art now.
And so here we are, just like two people having a conversation about, okay, what's the vision now? What are we going to see for the future? And look, just being upfront with it as well. It's like, we all need to be in abundance. We all need to be in being able to create systems that save you, stress, time, energy, and money. We need to do that in this changing world. So I am in no way saying that, we need to get rid of technology, just to be clear, because I know people do that stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to cross-pollinate in a different way. We need to blend something, this new old thing. And I'm just putting it out there because I know there's an impact that can happen when all of us collectively find that with each other. And, us as a brotherhood, I do believe we're at the forefront of it. I don't see any other, men's groups or brotherhoods talking about stuff like this, because it's like, you can't fake this stuff. It's either you live it or you don't. And if you don't live it, that's all good. But if you want to, we have the community for it.